All right, Shalom. The Hebrew Israelites come week in and week out to prophesy the downfall and destruction of America, Babylon the Great. Tell you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans that this kingdom, this wicked and simple kingdom, America, Babylon the Great, is falling. It's time for you to repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand, right? And the Lord is still showing His mercy. His hand is still stretched out. Why? The doors of repentance are still open because you still see the men of the Lord on the streets. The famine of the word didn't come yet. But before we get into that, we're going to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and salutations to the whole elect. So today I want to touch on real quick the spirit as it came to me before the count. A lot of our people, right? A lot of our people despise the wisdom, instructions of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And even a lot of you Israelites out there, right? You may know you're an Israelite, but a lot of y'all still are missing a point of not respecting or not honoring your father and your mother, man. Okay? That needs to be established, man. You're supposed to honor your father and your mother, man. Look at it. Exodus 20.
This is Exodus chapter 20 and verse 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thou days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee.
Alright, so that's the commandment, bro. You're supposed to honor thy mother and thy father. Or honor thy father and thy mother. Let me say it correctly. Okay? Also, a lot of us grew up without fathers, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, even though we might still have that resentment, so to speak, you know, mad at our fathers because they wasn't there. Look, at the end of the day, brothers that, you know, got problems with their fathers, hey man, just forgive your father, man, or make amends with him. Make amends with him. Alright? You ain't gotta be his best friend. Y'all ain't gotta call each other every day or whatever. Just make amends with him. Or make your peace with him. You see? Hey, sorry father for what I might have said to you, this and that. Make your peace with him and that's it, man. You see? Carry on about your life. You know? But make sure you should do that. Okay? Because at the end of the day, now we know the truth, right? We know that we're supposed to honor our father and our mother, man. Go ahead, bro.
You guys are good. Go ahead through.
It's a lot, bro. Before you get into that, there was a lesson that Apostle Kabari wanted to and touch on that subject about forgiving your father. The title of it was "Make Peace with Your Pops," and that lesson that hit me to the core because, for instance, like for my personal reason, like I had beef between me and my father, like not due to the curse stuff, but once I seen that lesson, like it hit me like automatically, like call my pops and just squash everything.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful because before Apostle Gabar put that video out, I think maybe 4 or 5 months before that, I made peace with my father. It was just on my spirit. I was just like, you know what? I'm in the truth. I just made peace with him. And it made me feel better. You know? And even though we're not all like that, I still feel better. Because I know I reached out and made peace. You see? So I'm good off of that.
Good precept. This is Sirach. Sirach or Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Okay, one second. There's a lot in here, but I'm gonna start at verse 10. Glory not in the dishonor of thy father, for thy father's dishonor is no glory unto thee. You know, because that kind of get put in Jake's head from a lot of these wicked women. Your daddy ain't shit. You just like your nothing ass daddy. You ain't shit like your daddy. You see what I'm saying? Don't glory in the dishonor of your father. Some people would even be like, oh yeah, that nigga blah blah blah. Yeah, fuck that nigga. No, bro. That's not the way to go. Verse 11. For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father, and a mother in dishonor is a reproach to the children. My son, help thy father in his age, and grieve him not as long as he liveth. Honor thy mother and father, like we just read in Exodus. That was Sirach 3 and 12. Yep.
You got it right there.
Oh, you already had it open?
No, y'all got it. Start at the top. Yeah, y'all already got it.
Okay. Sirach 3 and 1. Hear me your father, O children, and do thereafter, that ye may be safe. For the Lord hath given the father honor over the children, and hath confirmed the authority of the mother over the sons. Whoso honoreth his father maketh an atonement for his sins. So honoring your father is like a way of giving alms. You know, it covereth the multitude of sins is what it says about alms. And it just said it here, whoso honoreth his father making an atonement for sins. So that's pleasing in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Verse 4, and he that honoreth his mother is as one that layeth up treasure. Verse 5, whoso honoreth his father shall have joy of his own children, and when he maketh his prayer, he shall be heard. So, hey, this is a very pleasing thing to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And you're going to get that hell you put on your father, you're going to get back from your children. You're going to reap what you sowed. Verse 6, he that honoreth his father shall have a long life, and he that is obedient unto the Lord shall be a comfort to his mother. Right, because through your actions your mom will be blessed. Verse 7, he that feareth the Lord will honor his father and will do service unto his parents as to his masters. And the scriptures even tell us that the Pharisees was teaching that you could say unto your parents, or Rakah, or whatever it was, I've done enough for you. What I've done is good enough for you. You can't really say that to your parents. Now, you take everything with a grain of salt, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like, once you move out and you get your own thing established, you can't be there every day, you know what I'm saying? But you can't be disrespectful to your parents and leave them in a ditch somewhere. Your mom stranded on the side of the road, go help your mom, man. You see what I'm saying? If can't nobody come. Likewise with your father. Yep. See? 1 second. All right. Sirach 3. Okay. Sirach 3 and 8. Honor thy father and mother both in word and deed, that a blessing may come upon thee from them.
Both in word and deed, man. We get it from the word, man. You see? So we ain't just making this thing up, man.
Right, so bless them in the way that you speak about them. Don't uncover the scripture talk about uncovering the shame of thy mother. You don't want to expose your parents' dirty laundry. That's not an honor to you, going around talking about how this and that. You see what I'm saying? That's really wicked for real. All right? Verse 9, for the blessing of the father established the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations.
See that? The blessing of the father establishes the house of the children, man. You don't think Esau don't know that? Hey, what's the scripture says? He hate that you teach him. The enemy hate that you teach your children.
That's
He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy.
The enemy, see? And that's why he wants the fathers out the household, man, because you know the father establishes order, man. And a father figure puts that fear in that child for real.
Yeah.
You know, not the mother. You know? Having that manly tone, having that manly authority. See, Esau knew what he was doing when he took the father out the household, man. Hey, what the scripture talking about binding the strong man.
Yep.
So when you bind a strong man, you can take this world, you can take over the house. You got it?
This is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 1. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod.
If you love your son, you gonna what? You gonna correct him. You gonna reprove him. Go ahead.
It says that he may have joy of him in the end. He that chasteneth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintances. It says, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him.
Read them two-part verses over one more time.
He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him.
Right, before his friends you should rejoice of him, because believe it or not, you're known by your parents, man. You're known of your father. Hey, that's why when people say in the world, what they say, they be like, you do something wrong with a child, they be like, your father or your mother didn't raise you to be like that.
Yep.
That's why they say that. You see, I got a precept real quick.
You got no home training.
Right, you ain't got no home training. I know your moms, I know your pops. There ain't no way the hell they let you do the things you out here doing, boy. You know?
Yep.
So read that part again, bro.
It says, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him.
Right, he shall rejoice of him. Yeah, my son's handling his business. My son is doing what he's supposed to do. You see? Go ahead.
Verse 4. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead. For he hath left one behind him that is like himself. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. he left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends.
Yeah, and the scriptures say, train up a child in the way that he should go, and then when he is older, he shall not depart from it.
We getting that too.
Okay, kind of. Yeah, and I got a precept. Actually, back there was something else in Sirach I want to read.
I got one.
In that chapter 30.
Sirach 11 verse 28. Judge none, blessed before his death, for a man shall be known in his children. You see? So that's what we was expounding on, man. A man is known by his children, man. If you got some disorderly, out of order kids, the first who they gonna look at? They gonna look like the man. They gonna look at the man. What the?
Weak ass nigga, you ain't keep them kids in line.
Right.
They just running over you.
Right. And Esau do this Esau so much of the devil, he do this too, right? Even though we know, the mothers, some of the mothers, of our nation,
they ain't league with that shit.
They ain't league, but some of the mothers that's doing the best they could or whatever, whatnot, right? Esau so much the devil, he said you can't correct you can't chastise your kids, you can't correct them, you can't beat them or not like that, or they'll take you to jail, right? But this same devil, when y'all go to court after your child in, let's say, fighting or stealing or anything, right?
Yeah.
What do they say to the parents? You don't know how to raise your children?
Yep.
You don't know, what are you not disciplining them at home? Well, wait a minute. You said I can't correct them, I can't beat them.
Right.
I mean, come on, man. That's the first thing they say. You should know how to raise your children better.
Yep.
Well, you want to raise them because you want them to be disobedient bastards, man.
Yeah.
A bastard is what, man? A person that's fatherless. And they really want these people, right? The children of Israel, which also are known as the sons and daughters of the Heavenly Father, they want us to be what? Bastards, man.
Yep.
See, and to be disobedient unto the Lord.
Yeah. They got a school to prison pipeline. They want you to go and just be a slave, man, because they get free labor out of those people. And that's those unrighteous decrees that they prescribe. This is what the scripture he was holding at.
No, I was holding something. I was holding something that's going into it.
Okay. Then what the scripture said about how you should treat your child.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Right, that's why you got so much going on, so much separation and contention going on amongst our people, man. Strife.
Yeah.
You see? It's already telling you that what? A man's eye that's basically delicate, tender. When a brother see another brother, it's supposed to be like, hey, shalom, or how you doing? Just if they don't
have love for each other.
Yeah, have love for each other. How you doing, brother? You alright, brother? You need this, you need that, and that's what a lot of the elder people used to say back in the day. How it used to be like in the like the 60s.
Yeah.
They said it used to be like all help and love.
Yeah.
So Esau came in with his bullshit, his guns, his drugs, his gangs, right? Destroyed us, man.
Right. You get an example of that when you look at the origin of a lot of the gangs that exist now. They started off as neighborhood protection things.
Yeah.
They was banding together to protect the neighborhood and police the neighborhood. If they did have a quarrel, it was with their fists rather than with guns. When you start bringing in drugs and guns, and then the money started getting thrown in, and then it became a rivalry. But it was all through scriptures. He going into it. How it was evil.
Right. It says, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Right? So, hey, man, that's why, we're in these situations because we sinned against Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? We're reading out of the 28th chapter of Deuteronomy. That's the curses and the blessings, man. So, because we went off, we have to go through these different things. So, hey, you might have your father, he might have left or whatever. But you still have to forgive him, but it's not his fault. We're under the curses. He couldn't control that happening. That's prophecy coming to pass, man. So, that's...
I thought you were tied in with a righteous decree that Esau put out.
Hey, right. Hey, and with that too, like even in slavery, you got something called the Willie Lynch laws, right? That's how they first started breaking up the families by taking the strong man out of the household, right? making the women dependent on Esau, okay, dependent on Esau, and then basically switching all the roles of the family.
And also what they did too with slavery, right? In slavery, what they would do is they would grab the strong man. They would grab the strongest, the biggest, buffest man out of us all, right? And what would they do? They would put him in front of everybody, and then they would what? They would molest him. Yeah, they would rape him, man.
Yeah, they were buck, it's called
They butt breaking, yeah. In front of our whole, like, not the whole nation, but amongst the people that was all there. So then everybody would look and say, damn, they done broke down our biggest, manliest man. So now they was like, shit, if he couldn't stop what was going on, what could we do?
We do.
Now, look what they do with the rappers and entertainers, like the leaders of our people. Because a person that's strong, that's mentally stable, they was what? A leader. So they would try to break that leader down. That's what they're doing with the false leaders of our people, like LeBron, the rest of these fucking clowns be putting on dresses and shit.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry, they break. I don't consider him a strong
No, I
man,
wouldn't. But you have people that start off as being these strong figures, and then eventually they have to turn bitch.
Yeah.
That's basically what he's saying. They have to do something very emasculating. That's what the bro's going into. Look at Martin. You know, like Martin, he came out, he was real raw with it. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, Big Mama's house.
Broke him down.
Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
Eddie Murphy, when he came out with Delirious, everybody loved Eddie Murphy. He was weird as hell with them tight ass clothes on, but still, he had a certain rawness about him.
Tay Diggs did the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jamie Foxx. Yup.
All of Jamie,
All of
come on, man. Jamie was cool until he started Shanae.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's what they do. Y'all
Y'all
good.
cool.
Y'all good. And they was breaking them all down. That's what they was doing, breaking them down amongst our nation to show our men of our nation that, oh, y'all weak.
Yep.
Okay. Look how we can feminize y'all.
Yep.
Shit. But I got that piece up for you, bro. Mark 3 verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. Right? If somebody come to rob your house, you ain't gonna go for the woman first. You gonna go get the man. You gonna go tie his ass up first, and then you gonna handle the woman because why? She's easier.
Yep.
You gotta get rid of the problem first, and it's the man.
Yep. The man is the problem. The man is the defender of the house.
Yes.
And so they have to come, like I said, tie up the strong man so that, hey, where there's no hedge, the goods are spoiled. And the man represents the hedge to the family, man. So when they take you out the crib, they just running up too. They taking whatever they want. Spoiling the booty.
Yeah.
That's what the spoils of war is, the booty. You know? Also too, when the bro mentioned Willie Lynch law, they also got the Jim Crow laws, which further perpetuated the I being evil towards your brother because they separate us by what was it, like skin color?
Skin color, I think hair texture, all those
different things. Yep, so it created that tension as well. You think you're good, house nigga and field niggas. All these different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's that? That also goes to the Willie Lynch laws too, about the light skins against the dark skins.
Yup.
Yeah, the brown bag. That's what they used to hold up like a brown
paper bag.
Yep, brown paper bag.
So considering that's how Esau say, like the bro mentioned, that we can't discipline our kids. What do the scriptures say about this? That's Rock 30 and 12.
Yeah,
If there's anything around it.
this is Sirach chapter 30 and verse. Might as well read the whole thing.
Going into this.
Brother, pardon me, y'all. First off, I got a question.
Hey, what's up?
I'm from here, but I lived in Baltimore City for 15 years straight, right? And used to be downtown on Utah Street, Lexington Market. You know, they got a Hebrew Israelite. They got a nice spot right there off of Pennsylvania Avenue. I think this the street is Franklin Avenue, I think. But Franklin. Long story short, a lot of the brothers, right? I understand black pain. You know, I come from the Geechee family, both sides. Johns Island, Wamala, you know, other side, Columbus, Georgia. I got uncles, aunts that's in their 70s. They seen Motherfuckers in, excuse my language, people in trees.
Yeah.
Georgia,
Yeah.
Columbus, border Alabama, Phoenix City, Alabama, right across the bridge.
Right.
I got an uncle that seen people hump, living right now. You understand? People that I can talk with. So I say all that to say I understand black pain, black anger. I understand black love.
Right.
But this is what I don't understand. You know, you got brothers that are Muslim. And I took Shahada, but I ain't perfect. And I'm gonna share some, you know, I got drug problems, I got women problems, I got problems. I got a lot of problems.
Right.
But I love black folks. I love black folks. You know, took my Shahada because a lot of strong black men that I seen, a lot of honorable black men that I seen, a lot of black people that had black power, discipline, all these things, they were Muslims. You understand? And, you know, for me, I just wanted to be a strong black dude. Dig it? So I say all that to say that a lot of times people tended to take Shahada because a lot of the people that were Muslim, they were honorable, man. They watched dudes for periods of time, years and years. These dudes were honorable. You understand? So when that goes city to city, man, in Baltimore, a lot of the brothers that are Hebrew Israelite, they tend to shun the Muslim because they say it's identity crisis, right? It's their identity crisis because brothers emulate Arabs, stuff like that. But guess what? Just hear me out. I'm gonna hear me out, bruh. The brothers in this country that are Muslim, we outdo the Arabs. Brothers that listen to me. Brothers that are practicing. And I ain't trying to turn nobody into no Muslim.
Good. We want to rebuttal because you've been going for a little bit. Now,
I've been
as far as
talking
everything,
for 2 or 3 minutes.
yeah, you're right. But this is our platform, so can you give us the opportunity? I see you trying to share your story, so you know what I'm saying.
It's
Let
no
us
story.
rebuttal.
It's no story.
Your experiences. Let's put it that way, right? What you have perceived through your life experience. So this is what we have seen. Now, I get what you're saying about the seeming honorableness or the seeming. Yeah, well, it's an appearance of being honorable, but it's based off of things that you see in this world. You know, establishing a community, a business, having black schools and things of that nature. That seems very honorable. But when it comes to what we believe in and what the scriptures say about honor, they don't coincide. So of course the Hebrew Israelite brothers is going to reject that because it's coming from a different standpoint. We understand this place is going to be destroyed. So Muslims, they're like, let's build a community inside of our enemy's thing and let's try to break away and have something. Not gonna work. Never worked in the past. Every time we tried, they bombed. So we can't mesh. So if you want to be a Muslim, that's you. That's you. But we have completely different viewpoints, and that's why they get shot. We got a different power. Y'all say it's all Allah. No, that's not the name of our power. That's the name of y'all power. So we gonna keep it separate. If you ain't trying to hear what we gotta say, then we ain't trying to hear what you gotta say.
I got a precept. Amos 3:3. Can two walk together except they be agreed?
Right.
Answer is no. We can't walk with Muslims. Like the brother said, we believe in a whole different power. We believe in everything different.
Right.
Our whole standard, everything.
I can't stand shoulder to shoulder with a 3-foot midget
Right.
talking about we walking on even ground. It
Right.
don't happen like that.
Muslims are thinking about the future and staying here,
This
how
place.
they can stay here. We want America destroyed.
Yep.
We want the kingdom.
That's right.
Muslims don't want the kingdom. They have no idea about the kingdom.
Who went against America? Who really stood up and really went against
But did
this
they
country?
succeed though?
Did they succeed?
No,
They still being oppressed and killed.
It don't matter.
Oh, they do matter. That's success.
Listen,
It's getting
check
out
this
of that.
out. Check this out. These dudes are brave.
That's good.
They ain't just talking about it.
We brave
They
too.
doing it.
Matter of fact, Muslims ain't that brave. Hold on.
Let 'em go.
I'm talking to the camera, bro.
Okay, come.
Because
All right, bro.
these Muslims, they're not speaking. They talking about the atrocities and the things we speak about in America, but they're not talking about the destruction of America. They're not talking about how they want this place to be destroyed. They're not talking about that. None of them on their platforms is talking about that. Ben X, what's the other dudes? All other clowns,
Farrakhan.
Farrakhan, yeah, and the rest of his clowns below him, they're not talking about the destruction of this place. Then Farrakhan know we're Israelites,
Right.
but then he's teaching our people the religion of Islam.
He double-tongued in a motherfucker because he came out in one clip. I did a little video about it. He said, yeah, we Jacob.
Yeah.
They Esau. Then he turned around and said, we
Yeah.
Esau.
Then
And they Jacob.
right.
Then they got on his ass about that
Yeah,
shit,
and
man.
then the understudy under him is recent Islam, right? He know where the Hebrews. He just put a video out like last week or 2 weeks ago. Said, yeah, I know where the real Jews. I know those are the Khazars in our homeland. I know we the Hebrews. But then he turned around and still teaching y'all this madness, Islam.
Right.
That shit is. We ain't dealing with that
And
shit.
Farrakhan was quoted saying that Jesus, which that's not his name, but this is what he said verbatim. Jesus, a black man, was the last preacher to the so-called white Jews in Israel. How the fuck do that make sense? If we the people, that shit's confusing,
Bro, we're
man.
not dealing with that, bro. That shit don't have, that has no, bro. Muslims don't got no standard, bro. Especially in America, bro.
Oh, hell no.
A lot of people become Muslims from the jailhouse. They go there, they do that for protection, or they do that to look cool. You know how many niggas I know that's Muslims?
Drug dealers.
Drug dealers,
Eat shrimp. pork.
gang bangers,
Yep.
still talking about shooting each other,
Taking
smoking,
niggas bitches.
taking niggas bitches, and these is Muslims, bro.
Right.
You think they gonna put up with that shit over there in the Middle East? Hell no, bro. You think them niggas are gonna put a bomb to them over here? Hell no. That shit's pathetic, man. We're not dealing with that shit, bro. And that's why when Muslims come up, bro, we about to start ignoring that shit out the ring. I've seen it too many times of us dealing with it and other brothers dealing with it. Don't go nowhere. Never gonna go nowhere.
That's why I had to
man.
try to cut his ass off. He came with some compelling. He kept saying black. I'm like, well, maybe we could tell this brother he ain't black. Then he started talking about Muslim. I'm like, oh, nigga, you trying to big up Muslims, bro. You can get that shit up out of here, bro.
Yeah, that whole Islam thing, this is a secular Roman Catholic Church anyway.
Hey, right. You go.
Hey, motherfuckers be doing that shit because they admire men. They want to follow men talking about they was honorable. They strong black men, leaders. Man, hey, the principles of strength and real strength, man, come from the scriptures, man.
Yeah.
Being a man after the scripture, you shall know a man by his fruit. You looking at a nigga because they trying to open a business. Or they got a little money. Talk about, oh, I want to follow that. You still going after the world, man.
Yeah, let them niggas be, man. You got somebody holding something?
Yeah, I got Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21.
Oh,
verse,
hold that. Which one you got?
Ecclesiasticus 22. Sirach 22.
What you got? Sirach 3 still? Let's go to Sirach 3. You got 7.
I can go back. I still got it open.
All right.
What you want? Just going.
Keep going through that.
All right, Sirach 3 and 10. Glory not in the dishonor of thy father, for thy father's dishonor is no glory unto thee. For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father, and a mother in dishonor is a reproach to the children. My son, help thy father in his age, and grieve him not as long as he liveth.
Right, your father get old, man, help him out, man. See, don't just let him sit on the couch all messed up. If you need help, go and tend to him.
Right?
As much as you can.
Yeah, because you become like a baby, you know, with the older you get, you regress like back into that baby-like state, you know, depending on what the Lord has in your life. You get real old, yeah, you for real. I think even one of the men of the Lord, our forefathers, had to be buried up by his son to travel somewhere. I can't remember if it was Jacob or, but the closer he got to his deathbed, they had to start helping him walk, you know. And if his verse 13, and if his understanding fail, have patience with him, and despise him not. And despise him not when thou art in thy full strength. You know, so you done grew up, he done raised you up to this point, you know, which that difference, you know, a lot of us don't have our fathers. But just for example, you know, you up in your prime, and now he become old and decrepit, you looking down on him, nigga. You know, you smacking him, and you being wicked, man. Yeah.
Wicked.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, hey, the scriptures say, hey man, who smited his mother or his father shall be put to death.
Yeah, we know that's in one of these scriptures too.
Verse 14. For the relieving of thy father shall not be forgotten, and instead of sins it shall be added to build thee up. In the day of thine affliction it shall be remembered. Thy sins also shall melt away as the ice in the fair warm weather. He that forsaketh his father is as a blasphemer. He that angereth his mother is cursed of the Most High.
See how important that is to honor your mother and father? That's why it's going through that, man. That's why it's letting you know how important it is to honor your mother and father. You know? Hey, look, like I said, you don't gotta be the best of friends with your parents, you know, but just honor them, you know? Now, it would have been so. It don't mean if your mom say, come on, baby, let's eat these crab cakes with me, you know, if you love me. That don't mean go do that. That's not talking about honoring your mother or your father in that instance. You know? But it's talking about having respect to them, man. You know? Sirach 22. Yeah, start at 3 verse 3. Yeah, Sirach 7.
Yeah, I want to back you up too off of what you just said. Luke 14 and 26. You didn't have it already, did you? If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother, and wife and children, and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. So this is where balance comes into play. You see, because other people will read that and say, oh, that's a contradiction. The Bible don't line up. You don't understand what it's saying. It don't mean to literally hate them like you're going to dishonor a nigga like we just said. That's wicked. But do you love them more than the Most High? Hell no. Like the bro just said, mama say, come let's eat these crab cakes and it's bacon. You know what I'm saying? It's bacon wrapped pork chop. You'll be like, nah, I'm cool. I can't do that. You might even show them the scripture that they can't receive it. After a while, you just, well, hey, that's what my mama do. I can't stop her, but I ain't finna, goddamn bitch, you know, eat this fucking pork, you know.
Yeah, you younger brothers, yeah, don't try to force the truth on nobody, man. You gonna learn. You gonna learn the hard way trying to force the truth on people, man. You're gonna create so much contention and strife with people and debates. It's gonna be crazy, man.
Yeah.
But some people do go through trial and error.
You're gonna bring more persecution on
yourself.
Unwisely, man. That need be. See? Because you're trying to force something. If you see somebody rejected, hey, you only got so many times. After the first and second admonition, it's like, well, all right.
Let them go about their business.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, with me, man, my dad's on that 5% of Muslim stuff. You know? But I tried to go into the scriptures, you know, one time with him. I'm like, he ain't gonna receive it. I'm like, all right, Dad, you gonna do what you gonna do. Still love you though.
Yeah.
So I ain't tripping about it. You don't want to try to force it on nobody, man.
Right.
You know, it's up to the Most High whether they receive it or not.
Right. And the camera will go way further back than usual. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Make sure we
Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiastes.
No, we leave it.
This is Ecclesiasticus 22, verse 3. It says, "And an evil nurtured man is the dishonor of his father that begat him, and a foolish daughter is born to his laws." A wise.
Yeah, read 3 to 5. Yeah.
Verse 4. A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband.
No, start over.
Slocky. An evil nurtured man is the dishonor of his father that begat him.
Right? What it say?
An evil nurtured man is the dishonor of his father that begat him. And a foolish daughter is born to his laws.
Right, a foolish daughter, man. Why would it say a foolish daughter is born to his laws? A daughter that's just dating a bride, a daughter just doing whatever she wants, it's all out there, right? First of all, that causes shame to the father, or bringing shame to the father, to the household, right? And it's almost like you lost your daughter, man, because she ain't in order, she ain't in straight. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband.
A wise daughter should bring an inheritance to her husband. Go ahead.
But she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness.
You see how important you're known by your children, you know, and like fathers, we love our children, we love our daughters, and that's why the scriptures tell you to basically keep a close eye, more of a close watch on your daughter. You see, because the things that be going on, and the Lord knows she's a weaker vessel, and she need to be ordered right. So read that verse again, bro.
This is Ecclesiasticus 22 and verse 4. A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband, but she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness. She that is bold dishonoreth both her father and her husband, but they both shall despise her.
But they both despise her. So why do it say she despised? she dishonor her father and her husband. Because traditionally, right, how we Israelites, our heritage to do things is, you know, the daughter is under the father, right? Before we marry her off into a husband. Okay, that's how it goes, bro. Women wasn't just running around, just I love you, let's get married. No, it didn't work like that, bro.
Right.
Why you think there's so many divorces now? Why you think there's so much adultery now? Because all this shit, this is confusion Esau created. It's not all these women that have multiple men. Then you got women that want to hoe off for 20 plus years, 30 plus years, then they want to settle down when they 42.
Yeah, start
Got
getting
10,
lonely.
got 10, 20 bodies. Yeah, they lonely now. Got 10, 20 bodies. They talking about, I want to settle down with you. No, men like they women fresh, man.
Yep.
They want to open that thing up.
Yes, sir.
But that's the truth. Nobody want nothing used and abused. Come on, man.
And that's according to the law, man. Right? We're supposed to have virgins, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you really think, yeah,
We're
you're
supposed to have versions,
and when
bro.
you really think about how nasty that is, it's a little graphic, but you don't want to put your stuff in no used condom.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is.
And then women retain sperm in their vagina for up to what, 6 months of another man. So if a woman is sleeping with multiple men, well, she got heavy demons on her, bro, because she got all those different men's spirits on her, and it's a fact.
Bro, it's not even 6 months.
I think they said it was
Forever.
I think they said it was longer.
It's
That's
forever.
right.
Forever, bro.
Yeah, I think it remains in her brainstem like
Yeah,
until
it gets
she
in the
dies.
brainstem, it goes into their spine,
Yeah.
right? They got all these different spirits on them, man.
Yeah. Why you like said you dealing with a woman for a long time, right? Right? Y'all meet, y'all just start dealing. Don't you notice she start to mimic and copy how you are? She
Right.
might start saying certain things how you say it, different terms and lingos, and just the way you might do shit. She just start doing it too.
Yeah, some couples start
Even looking alike, yeah, because y'all become one. See, when you deal with that woman, because marriage. Somebody give me Genesis 24 and 67. Because sex is marriage.
Oh yeah, so this is what bro made a statement earlier about you're known in your children.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 16 and 44. Behold, everyone that uses proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter. You know, so yeah, man, in most situations that's how it is, man. So if you got a mother that's very disrespectful, you think your daughter ain't learning that? She gonna be the same way towards her husband.
Right.
You ain't teaching her the right way.
Right.
Right. That's what Esau proliferated throughout the years, man, after slavery, man. Right? The way, because the mother, the daughter imitates the mother, right? And then you ain't got no father in the home, the son starts to become effeminate.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
But hey, man, coming back into this truth, you start to learn how to be a man. You know? Just like King David said unto his son Solomon, he said, put thyself as a man, right? And I charge you with the charge of the Most High. Keep the law, right? For that's the whole duty of man.
Yeah, bro.
Okay,
I got it. What you got? Oh, you got it. No, you already got it. Go ahead, bro.
This is Genesis 24 and verse 67. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death.
See? So Isaac took Sarah into his tent, and what? He slept with her. See? And she became his wife. So that's how marriage goes, man. See? And what? Yeah, she was a virgin, man. But, man, we're in a society, so a lot of brothers don't got virgins, so don't even, don't trip about it. I ain't gonna go no further.
Hey, the nation of adulterers and adulteresses. We gotta really get mercy on that. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean you go out and you start sleeping with other people's wives. But as far as if you have a woman that never slept with another man, you're basically an adulterer. So you gotta get mercy on it.
Yeah, we all through. According to that, we all through. Everybody through. We all through. The whole nation through. All right, put you verse 9. Sirach 22, 9 and 10, and that's it on that. All right, like the brother said, that's why it says adulterous generation.
You said verse 9?
Yeah, verse 9 and 10. Yeah.
Ecclesiastes 22, verse 9, it says, if children live honestly and have wherewithal, they shall cover the baseness of their parents. But children, being haughty, through disdain, and one of nurture do stain the nobility of their kindred.
You see that? They stain the nobility. Nobility is honor of their kindred. You see, you bring shame to your people. Hey, that's why if you got somebody, well, back, I'll say maybe 20 years ago, like a black sheep of the family, they was always what? When people would have like what would they, not feast, but like you know, like little cookouts or something like that. Family reunion or something. They'd be the talk of the party. You see? Something you did, it was like, to them it's like you brought shame to the family. You know what I'm saying? They be like, you know, such and such son Ray Ray. You hear what this crazy nigga that did? Got our name looking all crazy. Cause he in the news wanting to shoot up the damn city and do this and do that. And be a damn kingpin. You see? So that brings shame to the family, man. Right? See? So how much more of a father with his children, man, being dishonored, you know, and his daughter going out, being a gatherer abroad. Hey, the brother is gonna go into that. Brother got it.
Right, and then it talked about those children. Y'all can go through y'all cool. Those children revealing the baseness of their parents, because you even got it where these wicked people, these wicked children, they'll go on Facebook and they'll blast their parents. You know, oh yeah, my mama this, that, and the other. You know, she like this. You know what I'm saying? I done seen it, man. They just on there just being wicked, talking shit about their parents. You know, so that's another aspect of that too. You know what I'm saying? You're not covering the baseness or the things where your parents may fall short. You blasting into the heavens. You know, that's not being wise. You see what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to glory in the disrespect of your parents, man. You know, no matter how much of what you get through.
Hey, that's funny you said that, but guess what? Guess what the scriptures say about that too? It says, here we go. Matthew 10 verse 21. And the brother shall deliver up their brother to death, and the father the child, and the father the child and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. See, so you're gonna have a lot of that going on of children rising up against their parents, man. Yeah, yep.
Sirach 7, starting at verse 23. Hast thou children? Instruct them. Still got that other one. And bow down their neck from their youth.
Right, you see? Train up a child in the way they should go. You see? So our children are supposed to be being trained with the truth, the discipline, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, man. That's how you train your child up in the way they should go. The Holy Scriptures. Go ahead.
Okay. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 30, and verse 7. It says, he that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds, and his bowels will be troubled at every cry. And horse not broken becometh headstrong, and a child left to himself becometh willful.
Right, so that's the first one. That's where the bro chose to start. We're gonna break that down, okay? So if you make too much of your son, you're gonna be troubled at every cry. You got a son, you baby him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, come here. How you gonna get strong? You know? Treat him like a little girl, man. Not a girl, okay? You gotta get tough. You know, brothers, men, we get into shit. We get hurt, and we get tough because of it.
Yeah, that's why fathers, like myself, you know, our sons, they might do stuff, or my son may do something. I'm like, nah, he cool. Like, no, give me him, he crying, man. He cool, man.
Yeah, leave him alone, man.
Let him go. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to keep babying him when he falls. Because when he do fall, he's gonna keep crying and looking like,
why you ain't help me?
Like, oh, get up, man. You know.
Yeah, and a horse. What does it say about the horse?
It said, and a horse not broken becometh headstrong.
Right, a horse not broken becometh headstrong. So you got a child or a horse, however you want to go about it, and he just getting older and older, and you ain't never break his spirit. A child left to his own devices becoming self-willed. Is also what the scriptures say. So you don't want to just let him keep going on doing his own thing. You got to show him, like, first of all, I'm over you, and I'll fuck you up. I think the scriptures even say put the terror of the Lord in them. You know what I'm saying? But you're over that child. So you have to teach him the fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. He gonna learn that firsthand through you, because you over him. You got to whoop that ass. But Esau put it where you can't. I think this is definitely some more.
Yeah, definitely. It says, conquer the child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness. Laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thou gnash thy teeth in the end.
Right. So conquer thy child, and what does it say verbatim? Conquer thy child. And
Conquer
what?
thy child, and he shall make thee afraid.
Right. So if you conquer your child, that goes back into coddling them and babying them. He's gonna make you afraid later when he get older. Cause why? He don't respect you. You play with him like you was his equal. And so now he's looking at you like, Dad, you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you instilled in him. He's not afraid of you. He gonna make you afraid, right? Continue.
It says, laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, lest thou gnash thy teeth at the end. Give him no liberty in his youth, and wait not at his follies.
Yeah, don't give him no liberty in the youth. Don't just let him grow up doing whatever he want to do, and don't wink at his folly when he be doing some foolish ass shit. You ain't supposed to wink at that. You supposed to correct him, like, man, you doing some, man, boy, you just did some stupid shit, man. Smack him on the back of the head, like, man, don't be doing that no more, man. You see? Because you're allowing him to stumble if you do. Because then you're allowing him to say, you know what? I ain't get in trouble for it, so my dad must think that's okay. I mean, that's what I'm gonna think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think it's okay. I ain't getting in trouble for it. I ain't get corrected, so I'm gonna keep doing the same thing. Keep doing the same thing, right?
Right. Yep. And that's like it also says in the scripture, because what does it say? Because judgment against an evil work is not executed speedily, and it's fully set in the hearts of men to do evil, in their minds to do evil. So likewise with a child, if you don't give them that negative reinforcement that this is wrong, and it gets you in some shit, you're gonna do it. You're gonna keep doing it.
This is verse 12. Bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thy heart.
See? So that's like this full circle, bringing back what the bro said. Esau will tell you in court when your child murdered 29 people, you didn't raise them properly. Well, you ain't giving us the ability to do as such as the scriptures would have us. Okay? We used to get our asses whipped back in the day.
Right, and since he said that, you got yours, Deuteronomy 21?
Oh, yeah.
Right, that about that stubborn child, man. See, how we handle things, we had held things in order. See? And and everything we did was made publicly known. See? So people can look on it and be like, you know what? We not gonna do that. The kids will look on it and say, we ain't doing that. And the parents and the people around will be like, oh, I'm not doing that act they did. Look at the justice that just happened. So as the brother just read about that stubborn child, what happens to rebellious and stubborn children? What happened with the ancient child amongst our stubborn and rebellious children?
It says, chastise their son, hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee.
To labor. So yeah, that's gonna go right into the
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse 18. It says, if a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them. Verse 19.
Meaning they try to correct them, and if he ain't want to listen, go ahead.
Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of his city,
Right.
and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious.
Right.
He will not obey our voice.
Yep. So now the parents took the son to the elders of the city. Now they letting it be known. Look, this is our rebellious son. He don't want to listen. He want to do whatever the hell he want to do. Right. Go ahead.
He is a glutton and a drunkard.
Right. All he want to do is eat and drink.
Verse 21. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones.
What should they do with that son?
They shall stone him with stones.
They shall stone him with stones. See, this is what we did in the ancient world. A stubborn and rebellious child. You see, they wasn't with no hard-headed ass kids, man. They stoned them with stones. Go ahead.
That he died.
That he died.
So shalt thou put evil away from among you.
See, and that's putting evil away amongst Israel. You see, because this rebellious child can what? And affect another child, for that child to be rebellious. Then the cycle goes on and on and on. You see? Just like homosexuality, right? You see that cycle? It gets passed down for us. I might try that. I should try that. You know what I'm saying? It rubs off on people. You know what I'm saying? So to get all that out of Israel, we got rid of that problem ASAP. ASAP. I'm saying? Adulterer, we dealt with you, right? And we made it publicly known. Wow, so everyone can look on and say, we're not doing that.
And on the spiritual aspect, that's removing the dwelling place of those wicked spirits. Because spirits dwell within you. You know what I'm saying? If you got evil spirits on you, if the spirit of the Lord dwells within you, then you can have demons dwelling within you. So when they killed those rebellious, they got rid of that spirit of rebellion until they hop on somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so we're going to finish up and move this another lesson. Sirach 7 verse 23. Hast thou children, instruct them, and bow down their neck from their youth. Hast thou daughters, have care of their body, and show not thyself cheerful toward them. Marry thy daughter. And this is backing up what I was saying. Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter. But give her to a man of understanding. Because you marry your daughter off, you ain't gonna want to marry your daughter off to no knucklehead, or someone that don't know how to take care of themselves, or don't know how to spend their money, or don't have no inheritance or anything like that. Marriage was very important amongst our nation, right? People really don't even understand what marriage really consists of, bro. Marriage is family building, right? So say if I'm marrying my daughter off to his son, right? I gotta make sure they got substance. They got land, they got cattle, right? His son ain't just no damn knucklehead, you know what I'm saying? And we build together, because now my daughter with your son, right? Now it's like a cycle's going to continue. Now we all family. See, now we all can take care of and help each other. You see, and it goes a little bit further than that, but we took marriage very seriously, man, amongst our nation, and it was very important. It wasn't about let's hook up together, and let's meet, and let's go on dates and love and all that. Man, hell no, that didn't exist, bro.
Yeah,
right?
Like this, what the bro was saying, man, there's laws set in place for how different marriage ceremonies were supposed to go down.
Yep.
Right? The woman didn't have no say-so on who she was going to marry. Oh, I like this guy. He looked good. He's just the guy I want, this and that. No, the father had to say so. Yeah. Right? Because there was no room for you to even be able to be like, oh, I want to marry this guy, and he's a fucking knucklehead. Right? So the father was trying to make sure that she was married off to someone who was a man of understanding, just like the scripture said.
And then on top of that, like when daughters, like today, like when daughters be bringing men home, well, I'll say, let's go back 15 years. Today is out the chain. Let's go back 15, 20 years. Daughters would bring home, they'd be like, you gotta go meet my mom. Remember that? You gotta go. Oh, yeah, you might be a little bit young. You gotta go meet my mom and my dad first. You know what I'm saying? Why was that? So they can basically look at it and talk to the little dude and be like, let me see if he's right. My daughter's in this. You know what I'm saying?
Get the parents' stamp of approval.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And the young, you can't run no game. Man can't run no game on man like that. You know what I'm saying? Little young punk. You gonna be looking at him like, little nigga. Like certain cities say, like, nigga. A mom, she can't see that shit, bro. For a lot of cases, she can't see that. She can't see that. He running game. Dad gonna be there like, hell no, little nigga.
Red flag. You know that buzz. It's a long check.
Yeah, I got it. It says, hast thou a wife after thy mind, forsake her not, but give not thyself over to a light woman. Honor thy father with thy whole heart, and forget not the sorrows of thy mother. All right.
Assalamu alaikum.
It says, remember that thou wast begotten of them, and how castest thou recompense them things that they have done for thee. But that's the point.
Yeah. So you can never pay your parents back for what they've done for you. Like I said, remember that thou was begotten of them, but how canst thou recompense them for what they have done for thee? How could you ever pay your parents back for your mom for birthing you, your father, and both of them for raising you, for even having you and keeping you, with all the abortions going on? You can never pay them back for that. So, likewise, just remember, don't treat them wickedly. You know? You ain't gotta be. You got business that you gotta handle, so you're not gonna be a full-blown servant for them. You know what I'm saying? Because you're your own man. But remember the sorrow of thy mother, I believe it said. It said, honor thy father with thy whole heart, and forget not the sorrows of thy mother. So if you can, if it's in your power to do so, help your parents.
Right. So it's a lot. We went over a little bit further than we expounded on, but it is what it is. Let's give me Jew nor Greek. All the little Christian scriptures they like to quote. What is it? Jew nor Greek? Greek nor Jew or something like that. I think like there's two of them. There's one in Romans. There's one Galatians. Galatians. Yep. Galatians is one in Romans.
3 and 28 and 29.
All right, get that one. I got the one in Romans 1. All right. So we're going to talk about the Gentiles. All right. A lot of these people are confused about who these Gentiles are spoken about in the New Testament when it pertains to salvation. Okay, when it pertains to mercy. You know, when it pertains to being granted back in. A lot of the people don't understand that these Gentiles are Israelites, man. All right. So we're going to start at the book of Romans 1, verse 1. It says, Paul, a servant of Yahushua Mashiach, called to be an apostle, separated to the gospel of the Most High, which he had promised afore by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures. Right? We'll jump to verse 7. It says, to all that be in Rome, beloved of the Most High, called to be saints, grace to you and peace from the Most High our Father and the Lord Yahushua Mashiach. So let's understand this. Going to the 16th verse. Paul is writing a letter to a specific group of people in Rome. You know the precept of that to prove who the saints are? Whoever knows can get it, not you, bro. You got it already? All right, go ahead. Let's get it. Dude. You know where it is, though? All right, bring it out. This is the precept to show you who the saints are.
This is Psalms chapter 148 and verse 14. I started verse 13. Let them praise the name of Yahweh, for his name alone is excellent. His glory is above the earth and heaven. He also exalted the horn of his people. The praise of all his saints, even the children of Israel, a people near unto him, praise ye the Lord. Right, so it says the praise of all his saints. Now when it says that word even, when you look it up, it actually means equally. So the saints equal the Israelites.
Yep.
Right? Because we were the one who were, he said, gather together my saints that have made a sacrifice.
Right here. Another precept, Psalms 50, verse 5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
Right.
Who made a covenant? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, Salaki. Yeah, right. So the Israelites made a covenant with Yahweh, with the Heavenly Father Yahweh, okay, by sacrifice. Okay? Where Moses took the blood and he sprinkled it upon the people, man, after making that sacrifice. Right? He's the only one who made covenant with the Israelites. He didn't make covenant with the other nations.
That's right, that's right.
So yeah, I was just gonna say that's why it says when it refers to the saints in Rome, those are Israelites who are living in Rome.
Book of Exodus 24, verse 5. It says, I'll start at 4. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord and rose up early in the morning and built an altar under the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of children of Israel which offer burnt offerings and sacrifice peace offerings, oxen, unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read it in the audience of all the people, and they said, all that the Lord hath said we will do and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it upon the people, or sprinkled it on the people, and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you, and concerning all these words. See? So that's the covenant we made with the Lord by sacrifice. See, the blood covenant, you know? If we went off, if we committed a particular sin, we would have to shed the blood of a specific animal, okay, to cover our sins. But now, who became the ultimate sacrifice, and who covers our sins now? Don't say that.
Yahushua.
Yahushua. You see, that lamb without blemish. Okay. So back at Romans 1 verse 16, it says, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel of the Mashiach, For it is the power of the Most High unto salvation, to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. Okay? So, do anybody know what that word Greek means in Romans 1 verse 16? Nobody? What do you mean, bro?
Yeah, that word Greek in Romans 1 and 16 is talking about the Israelite foreigners, right? Or the Hellenes.
Yup.
The Hellenes, right? Because there's a period of time, and we're going to read it, you know, Lord willing through the Spirit. There's a period of time.
Same as the Gentiles.
Yeah, the Gentiles. Yeah. There's different translations for those words. Yeah.
Yep, Helen. It's Helen. Yeah, it's Helen. You know, because like the brother was going into, there was a Hellenization period amongst our people. See, a lot of our times we was getting Hellenized. And our brother's going to go into that very shortly. All right, so it says, for it is the power of the Most High to salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek, right? So Christians will say, you know what? He's saying to the Jew first, to the Greek. So they'll acknowledge, right? Right there, they'll acknowledge that we are the real Jews. They'll say, yeah, see, to the Jew first, you are the Jews. But then it says to the Greek. So automatically they say, you know what? When you think about the Greeks, who y'all think of? Huh? Why Edomites? Like we was taught in school, who? Alexander the Great and them, right? Right? That's what we think of, you know? So that's what they think of too. They say, oh, okay, Alexander the Great, you know, the Greeks, okay, that's us. They are not knowing the scriptures though. They are not knowing the scriptures. What you got, bro? You got that Galatians? And out, we're about to get to Hellenization period.
Galatians 3 and 28.
This is another one Christians love to use.
There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free.
You know, what you got?
Galatians 3 and 28.
Galatians 3 and 28.
There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one in Hamashiach, Yahushua.
Why does it say they all one? Because they all Israelites. That's why I said they all one. No matter if you a Jew, no matter if you a Greek, y'all still Israelites. You know? That's why I say that. See, but don't twist it up. Once again, going into that word Greek. They fit them in there, right? But see, the scriptures talk about, it says salvation to all, Jew nor Greek, right? Where's the other nations at? Where they at? If it says salvation is to all, Jew nor Greek, where do all the other nations go? Why didn't it say, well, to salvation to all Jew or Greek or African or Arab or was it East Indian or Chinese or Japanese? How you know no good? Why don't it say that? You see, these are questions when people say stuff that you start saying that back to them. Why say only to the Jew nor Greek? Where's everyone else at?
Yeah, I thought y'all said red and yellow, black and white.
Right. Oh, but then you know they'll pull when they say that. John 3:16. You know they're gonna pull that. Oh, well, John 3:16 said no. Let's go back to the scripture that you just quoted. Why say salvation to everybody, Jew nor Greek? Why ain't everybody else in there? See? Oh, because it's talking about a specific people. Speaking of that. Okay? You got a few precepts before we go into the Hellenization period?
Yeah, I got a few. Well, I just got more so about it.
Okay, so you
Right. So now in the scriptures, the scriptures is very the scriptures you can tell it's valid because it lines up with history. Or really, should I say, the scriptures predicts history before it happens. Right? Prophecy dictates history. Right? So you got these different prophecies about us going under these different captivities. Okay, having these other nations rise up and become put us in captivity. Right. So we're gonna start here in
Alright, so let me get this precept here. So this is another. This is really another one they like to use. Acts 10. Then I got Acts 10 and 35 says, "But in every nation, he that fear of him and worketh righteousness is acceptable." So this is another thing that I can pull out. See, in every nation, brother, they all are accepted. Well, like the bro just said, it was prophesied we would go into different captivities, and it's all throughout the scriptures, man. Okay. So let's get some of these precepts.
Talking about all those Israelites the fear the Lord amongst that's in all those nations.
Yep. And a lot of these is in the Old Testament, and there's also one in Revelation that we can grab. But I'm going to just start with this one. Ezekiel 34 and 13. And I will bring them out from the peoples and gather them from the countries, and will bring them again into their own land. And I will feed them on the mountains of Israel, by the ravines, and in all the inhabited places of the country.
Right.
So he's going to bring us out of these nations where he sent us.
Right.
He's going to gather his remnant, which that's in this list of scriptures too. You know, he's going to pull us out. Okay. There's another one, Ezekiel 11 and 17. Therefore say, thus says the Lord power, I will gather you from the peoples and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel. So this is why it says that in all nations, them that work in righteousness is accepted with them, because we are located in all nations.
That's right.
In all those nations, because we as the sand of the sea, you're going to have 2/3, you're going to have elect. So that's why he said them that work in righteousness.
Right.
Ultimately, all of Israel going to be saved. But even amongst these heathens, you got 2/3 of Israel that's going to die.
Yep.
But them that work righteousness, they accept it.
Yep.
And they'll get pulled out of those nations.
Absolutely. Precept. Isaiah 11 verse 10. It says, and in that day you shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from all the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So Israel, we everywhere. We everywhere. And the Lord's going to what? He's going to gather the righteous, like he said. He's going to gather them all back out wherever they dwelling at. You don't got to go to the land of Israel, because you got that false doctrine, go back to the holy land and you'll be good. No. Have faith. Wherever you at, the Lord will get you. He's going to deliver you. So we good.
The scriptures say he's searching through Jerusalem with candles, right? And it even talks about us doing our good works. It says that a candle is not lit or put on a bushel to be hid under a bed. So the brothers is out here preaching, roughly paraphrase, but the brothers out here preaching the gospel, okay? And the Lord sits in the house of Israel. He's searching them with these candles, with this word that's going forth. And them that accept it, they get sealed with the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They become a part of the hopefully elect, okay, or the elect actually. But some people get, they come in and they get sifted out. They're just a part of it. But the point is, this light, this word is going out in all the nations. The Lord wants them in touch. And the righteous is going to get saved out of those nations.
Man, they have their fun right now, so hey, it is what it is, man. 2/3 gotta have fun. I mean, shit. You gotta live it up.
You gotta laugh now so they can cry later.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of. I got a list of all of them right here.
Right, so
Romans 1:16.
right, so in that scripture, Romans 1:16, the word there in the Greek is Helen. So I looked up Helen right here on the Wikipedia, and it says in Greek mythology was the progenitor of the Hellenes. His name is also another name for Greek, right? It says meaning a person of Greek descent or pertaining to Greek culture, and the source of the adjective Hellenic, right? So when you get Hellen, that means it pertains to Greek culture. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's only people who are born of that line of being Grecians, right? That means anybody who was taking Greek culture as their own, right? So we had a lot of our people who went out to do the different ordinances of the heathens, right? what we're about to read is called the Hellenistic age. Hold on, I got that one up here.
Yeah, I got one right here. This is the Zondervan Bible Compact Dictionary until you get yours, bro. This is Hellenist, right? This is a good book to grab. It's like $7. It goes through all these different words. Hellenist, it says, a Hellenist is Jews who made Greek their tongue. Jews who made Greek their tongue and with it often adopted Greek ideas and practices. There you go. You see? So these Jews are actually Greeks. I mean, these Greeks are actually Jews, but they're also referred as Greek-speaking Jews. You see? And the Jews, right? The Jews in the Holy Land that kept keeping the law. How did they look at these heathenistic people? They looked at them as such. It's like, oh, man, that's Greeks, man. See, so when you start going into the information like Paul, everybody getting mad at Paul, like, Paul, why is Paul bringing heathen in the temple? Because our people looked at their people as basically sellouts, heathens. That's how they looked at them, so they was mad. How dare he bring these unclean heathen into our temple? That's how they looked at them.
Remember the scripture said, man that is a heretic at the first and second admonition cast out as a heathen man. So when our people began to keep these other customs, they got treated like a heathen. It wasn't allowed to come into the temple and do certain things. It was like, hey, you ain't our people, man. You know, and that was a major controversy during that time. You know?
Right. And then
I got another definition too. Yeah, so this is also this is Bible Hub that goes into the word Helleniste. So it's like 3 iterations of this word.
They're just like you have in English, you have different forms of the word, right? You might have like say, I can't think of what it is.
Oh shit, like red and red. Well, they spell differently, but you know what I'm saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah, you good. Go ahead. Yeah, different forms of the word. You know what? I can't think of nothing right off the bat, but you'll
like
read
soul,
one word.
like the word soul or something like that.
Yeah, well, like soul.
Like, okay, they say you have Hellenists, people who practice the culture of the Greeks. You have Hellenic, like you have the Hellenistic era, right? That's pertaining to a period of time, right? And then you have, you know, just different variations of the word.
Yeah. And that was Esau's language, you know. He's deep into that. But this is Hellenist, right? I'm just get to the point. It says one who imitates the manners and customs or the worship of the Greeks and uses the Greek tongue, employed in the New Testament of Jews born in foreign lands and speaking Greek. It says that the name adhered to them even after they embraced Christianity.
So, and before the brother go into that, we're gonna get to the scriptures. So, right, Esau was the one, like with these Bible hubs and all this, even this, right? Who do you think made this? Who do you think came up and put all this stuff together? Esau did, right? So you think Esau don't know about partially the truth of what's going on? That those Greeks are Israelites? You think he don't know that? Bro, they don't want to get to definition, right? Biblical scholars and all this, most of them, they know it. Some of them will tell you the truth. Some of them will not. Although most of them will not, right? But they know the Bible is about Israelites. They know Paul spoke to Israelites only. So what is all these pastors talking about? That's for everybody, this and that. Well, what are they talking about? Because that's false. All of that's false.
Right.
See?
So like, you know that
And the thought came to mind too.
you know that basketball player Antetokounmpo?
Yeah.
He was born in Greece.
He's an Israelite.
Yeah, he's called the Greek.
The Greek freak.
Greek.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
But he's an Israelite,
Dark
bro.
skin, brown skin, Jake.
Yeah, and he's he a freak on the course for real, boy.
So
But yeah, I did a lesson with that a few back. He was born in Greece. You know what I'm saying?
right. So this precept that came to mind when I was reading that definition, because sometimes the scriptures talk about Greeks. In this case, it says devout Greeks. But there was a point that was made in Bible Hub that says that this name stuck to them even after they embraced the faith. So Acts 17:4 says, and some of them believed and consorted with Paul and Silas, And of the devout Greeks, a great multitude, and of the chief women, not a few. So when it's talking about devout Greeks, we know heathens cannot be devout. Heathens cannot dedicate themselves to Yahweh Shai. Okay? The Spirit got to be on you. The heathen's not receiving of the Holy Spirit, not the true heathen. So these devout Greeks will fit under that category of them that retain that name Hellenistas, or Greek, even after they came back into the faith. You know, they was Israelites by blood, but they were still being called Greeks, even after they came back into the fold.
All right, so we're gonna hold off. We're gonna run to it. So here we go.
I'm gonna read this for Hellenism or Hellenization, and then we're gonna go right to the scriptures. So this is the definition on Wikipedia for Hellenization. It says Hellenization, other British spellings, we got a different spelling there. It says for Hellenism, it says is the historical spread of ancient Greek culture, religion, and to a lesser extent, language over foreign peoples conquered by the Greeks, or brought into the sphere of influence, particularly during the Hellenistic period. Right? And they talked about this in high school, if you pay attention to history class. It says, following the campaigns of Alexander the Great in the 4th century BC. Right? So basically, this is ancient world colonization. Right? You notice in today's world they colonize people, but they take on their language. That's why you got a lot of Jakes in Western Africa. They speak French because they were colonized by the French. Some of them speak Spanish because it was colonized by the Spanish. Others German because they all went through that. They call that imperialism if you go look that up. But we're gonna hop right into the scriptures.
Right. And that's a beautiful point you said too. You know, that Jake had to go through. You know, and before you say that too, you're dealing with the Bible, right? Without the Apocrypha, you're missing a huge part of our history. A huge part. Because the regular Bible, well, man's got the Apocrypha in it, but the regular one that this brother got, it only goes into what? All the captivities we went through, except for the Greek captivity. So when someone reads this alone, they're like, okay, well, the Greeks, those just gotta be the so-called white people. But when you go into this and get the information, you're like, oh shit, we was in that captivity. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And we got a more fuller picture because now we've done the study, we learned from the apostles, and we tied everything together. I never was really big into history, but now when I think about it, if you were tracing secular history and you looked at the different great kingdom rulerships, you would have had to be like, well, wait a minute. If the Jews was documented to be under all these captivities, the Greeks came before the Romans. So what happened with that? Right? Well, where did they go in that time period? You know what I'm saying? Because they documented to be under these different kings. So wait a minute, that ain't included? Of course it is. It's in the Apocrypha.
In the Bible is secular history. So as that brother just read on Hellenism, right? It spoke about Alexander the Great, right? Well, when you talk about Alexander the Great, ask your average person, well, you don't gotta ask, I'm just saying, using that. Ask somebody and say, you know what? Is Alexander the Great talked about in the Bible? Most people gonna tell you no. They don't know. But we're gonna show you. I feel offended. Yeah, I feel offended, brother.
I looked up the word imperialism.
Go ahead, read it, bro, read it.
The word imperialism means a policy of extending a country's power and influence through diplomacy or military force.
Right. So through extending their power over whatever country it is, diplomacy and military force. Right. So we're about to read from the scriptures, because the Apocrypha is a part of the scriptures, the same thing. Right? There's nothing new under the sun. Right. So we're about to read the same thing. It's about to go into it. So this is Maccabees chapter 1. First Maccabees chapter 1 and 1. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius the king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. And he made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. And he went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. right? So basically, it's going into how Alexander, he came up. He's the big man on the scene now, right? He's the top superpower, as they call it, right? He came in with his military force. He slew Darius, the king of the Persians and the Medes. So now he's in the rulership seat, right? Which he did through his armies, man. It says, and he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he would die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. Right? So after a period of time, Alexander became sick, right? And while he was dying, okay, because the Lord was putting him to death, while he was dying, he actually had his 4 generals come up. You can actually look them up. His 4 generals come up to rule over the kingdom. So they split the kingdom in 4, right? I think
Forget them. I think it was Seleucus, the Saginus.
yeah, Ptolemy,
Ptolemy.
Ptolemies, and there's another one. Yeah, but then, right? So these 4 generals, they come up, and then they have sons that reign after them. So it's going to explain that. They have sons that reign after them. So that's why we look into the history of the Greek. History of the rulership, you have different dynasties. You have the Seleucus dynasty. You got different kings that come out of the Seleucus dynasty. You got the Ptolemaic dynasty. You got the I can't remember the other ones right now. But they split the kingdoms into 4, right? So say the kingdom of Greece was, they had I think the Ptolemaic dynasty was ruling over Egypt and different parts of that area. The Seleucus dynasty was over the Levant and the Mediterranean, and then so on and so forth. Right?
Right, they all had their own parts that they was ruling over until they started to collide against each other. Go ahead, bro.
Right. It says, let me go to verse 7. Verse 7, it says, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bear rule everyone in his place, and after his death they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
Alright, so when Alexander and them came into power and they started wrecking the world, evils multiplied on the earth. Right? Now in school they taught us that, what did they say? History started with the Greeks. That was a lie. So evils multiplied on the earth when it started with the Greeks. That's what they left out. Okay? Because everything was already going on. But it became the rulership of the Edomites began to reign on the earth. Okay? Starting with the Greeks. See? History didn't start with the Greeks. The Edomite rulership started with the Greeks. Go ahead.
Verse 8, verse 9. And after his death they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Right? Now here's the point that we're trying to get to, right? Okay. It says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Yeah, a lot of people sellouts of our nation. You see? They looked at it and said, you know what? Since we left from being with them, right, we're going through hell now. Now we're going through hell, so you know what? Let's make a covenant with them. Let's join hand in hand with them. What do you think a lot of our people do now? They join hand in hand with the heathen. You see, they try to eat a piece of their pie because they know going against them when not standing with them, it's going to be harder for them. Just like, let's just use the rap industry, right? Or all entertainment business. If they tell you, they come to you and say, you know what? Like they did Dave Chappelle. We need you to put on a dress. Dave Chappelle like hell. You know what I'm saying? So what they was going to do before he ran out? Blackball. You see? We need you to do this or say this. And basically be in league with us, or we cutting you off. You see? And a lot of people don't like being cut off. That's why they like to just join the hand of the heathen. They say, you know what? It's just better off if I join with them. Do what they asked me to do. So that's what our people was doing, man. Sellouts, man.
It says, verse 12. So that this device pleased them well, then certain of the people were so forward therein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Right? So they got permission from Antiochus, okay, to do everything that the heathens were doing, right? So that's basically taking on their cultures, man. Okay? It says, and whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the custom of the heathen.
Right, that's those, when you look to see them coliseums and stuff like that, gyms, that's what that goes into.
Yeah.
See?
When you go into the word gym in the Greek,
Gymnasium.
it comes from gymnos, which means naked.
Yeah.
So they were actually they were working out butt naked, man.
Yeah.
So they was that's right. They call this guy Alexander the Great, man. This is Alexander the Greek, man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It says verse 15.
Right, and that's why you've seen a lot of different movies. What's the movie when what is it? It ain't Troy, not Troy. Gladiator, right? Gladiator. A lot of those was Israelites, man. That was in Gladiator, man.
Yeah,
I think Troy too.
Troy, yeah.
Troy.
I didn't mean to say that movie, but yeah, Troy. Yeah, all of them, bro.
What's the guy named Maximus? I think he's actually supposed to be.
He's an Israelite.
Yeah, representative of Cerberus Septimius.
Yeah, them was all supposed to be Israelites in those movies. You see? But we just showing you that some of those fashions that they took on. You know?
Verse 15. And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief.
Verse 41. Right. So what did they do? They became uncircumcised. You had Israelites, right? That was uncircumcising themselves, meaning trying to put skin back on they young man. Because remember, you was
I didn't know they were doing that.
yeah, they was doing that. You wasn't basically like you was ID'd by that. If they seen that you was circumcised, they would know that you was an Israelite. They would know that. Hey, Lord, it's circumcised. He's an Israelite. Because whose custom was to be circumcised? Israelites. On the 8th day. You know? So he had Israelites doing that.
Right, but then you got the spiritual aspect of making yourself uncircumcised, where you stop keeping the custom and laws of Yahweh Hashem.
Yeah, that's why I said they forsook the holy covenant.
Yeah. Circumcision is not that of the flesh, but of one of the heart, which you should be circumcised, but just quoting what Paul said. Yeah. The one that is a Jew inwardly.
Yeah, the scripture also say circumcision is nothing and uncircumcision is nothing but the keeping of the law. Right? So yeah, in that spiritual aspect.
Yep.
Right, so what we're going into, so we're still going to continue to show you how we became Hellenized, the Hellenization period. You know, how we became Gentiles, so to speak.
Correct. This is hopping down to verse 41. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. And
You see that Edomite New World Order type of style was going on? He wanted to make a one world government. Same what they trying to do now. New World Order. They trying to make it a one world government, a one world system via the mark of the beast. Right?
They just united all religions. They just had a summit where they gathered together and they all made an agreement to unite religions together. I did a video on it. It's called The Framework of Persecution is Being Laid. Because think about during the time of Esther. They said that these malicious people with laws contrary to everybody else is scattered throughout your kingdoms, kill these niggas. And so once all these people get deceived by the false prophet, which is the Roman papacy, that's the spearhead of all this, okay, they're going to be looking at us like, where you niggas at? Why y'all ain't getting down with the get down of tolerance and love and acceptance? That's why I talk about them not sparing them that fear the Lord. Instead of spoiling them that fear the Lord. You see?
God. Right, this is like the first melting pot, man. Right, they're colonizing everybody, bringing them together, right? That all people should be one people, right? What is America known as? right? It's known as the melting pot. Am I right?
Yeah.
It's known as the melting pot. So you can see that there's nothing new under the sun. The same spirits that was doing that back then are now doing that today, right? They're trying to take it a step further with the microchip.
Yeah.
It says, I'll read that again. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
You see, many of the Israelites basically conformed to that way of life. That's why it says it could be consented to his religion. You see? Go ahead.
And sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the kings had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
See, he put that order out there. He put the order. Hey, y'all gotta follow our laws now. Y'all gotta bow down. That's the same thing Esau gonna do. He's gonna say, you know what? See, y'all can get the chip right now if y'all want to. Go ahead, you know what I mean? It's cool, it's fun. Use it as a technology. But he's gonna make that a law of the land. He's gonna make that mandatory, man. That's why the brother says follow the law of the land until we can't. Because right now the law of the land is what? Everybody gotta wear masks. Alright, we're gonna do that. We're gonna wear masks. But when it comes down to taking the chip and all that, oh, we ain't with that. We ain't with that.
It's lucky, bro. I just seen a video. Bill Gates was talking. It was a short clip.
Yeah.
He was saying people basically. He was like, y'all don't have the choice to say no.
Yeah.
Talking about the vaccine. So how much more the chip?
Yeah, how much more to chip? But Bill Gates, he know what time it is.
Yeah.
Just like he says, for everything to go back to normal, everyone has to be vaccinated. So from right there, bro, we cut off right there from the vaccines right there. We already cut.
Yeah.
That's before the chip. You know what I'm saying? So brothers is about to lose jobs and everything before the chip because we can be saying no to the vaccine.
Alternate made a video. He make a video saying prepare to stop working. It's like, but you? Oh, one of y'all. My fault.
Huh?
You said what though?
No, it's like I seen one of y'all posted a video saying prepare to stop working.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was you him.
Oh, yeah. I made that video. That's going into like a different topic.
But hey, that topic alone, yeah, pretty soon these normal type of jobs, hey, they're gonna get cut off. You know,
It's gonna require a vaccine because even the new gig I was just at, y'all okay? The new gig I was at, well, it's hot as hell in there. But we gotta wear masks. I can barely breathe. Sometimes I'm like, man, no, I can't breathe, man. Y'all gonna tell me go home or something?
Yeah,
I can't breathe.
I pull it down below my nose, so I'm still kind of got it over my face. Cause they tell you these masks don't really protect they don't really protect nobody else, or they don't protect you. They protect other people from if you cough or sneeze. It's like, you know, whatever, man. You know, I just wear it for show. Then when it really get hard to breathe, man, that must be right here. I gotta breathe on my nose or something. Y'all ain't finna kill me.
Yeah, so we just showing you the steps. You know what I'm saying? It always goes through steps. Right now, like we're showing you just steps. They went through a process. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Right. I continue reading. It says, yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, and that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifices and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and the festival days.
The scriptures even say, them that consent unto them shall be had in derision and trodden underfoot of men. So you consent unto Esau, you're gonna die.
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels and idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
All right, we already know the story about the Maccabees brothers dealing with why they didn't eat swine. They got tortured. You see? Hey, it's something about that pork Esau love, man. You see? We love it. Go ahead.
It says that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. It says to the end, right? So this is the whole goal of Antiochus Epiphanes, right? It says to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. Right? So he wants our Antiochus Epiphanes, he wanted our people to forsake the law, man. Right? Because hey, when you keep the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and you stay true to your power, man, you have power. Right? Because only when we go off from that, that's when we get overtaken, man.
I gotta think I'm gonna find that one.
Yeah, you guys got a card or something?
Card? No, we
A card anytime the way I can contact you guys?
no, we just out here every week, but we on YouTube though.
Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube, but I've never. What do you guys go
Type
on?
us in.
I watch AOC, I watch Sakari.
Okay, yeah, we GMS
GMS
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Alright. And you guys don't have like a website or nothing? Because I've been reading, I'm convinced.
You got your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, just type, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. That'll be the best way. And if you got any questions, put it on the comment board. Maybe we'll answer it. You know what I'm saying? The spirit hop up.
What was you saying though, bro?
You say you convinced?
I'm convinced. Like the Deuteronomy 2:28, if I'm not mistaken, it talks about like the shackles.
28?
Yeah, it talks about the shackles, the slavery and stuff. And the Jews were not maybe.
We're going to slavery with ships again.
Yeah.
Nah, they ain't go through that.
Right. But the brother said he was convinced. Yeah, bro. Hey, if the spirit bear witness with our spirits, then we're the children of the Most High. Romans 8 and 16. You know? So, go ahead,
I
bro.
asked you.
This is
Right here.
it says verse 50. Whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king,
Yeah.
he said he
Yeah,
should
you can
die.
ask the BLs. If you have
Right
any
now.
specific questions, just post it on the comment board.
Alright,
All right, brother.
All right, bro.
tell them.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll read that again. It says, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
You see, he shall die. That's how Esau gonna come down with it. Oh, y'all don't want to take the chip, but already say if you don't take the chip, you gonna die, man.
Yeah.
You see? Let me get it real quick.
Probably gonna start off first. It said that you should not buy or sell. Say if he didn't have the chip, so it's gonna start off with, well, you can't get no food rations, you can't shit, you can't shop, you can't trade. Which they already did something similar back there. What was it? I believe it was World War II. They had limited a lot of food. It was World War II. They limited a lot of food to help the war effort. And you had these coupons, and you still had to spend money, but you had to redeem your coupon before you could actually spend money. And that coupon allotted you a certain amount to be able to buy a certain amount of meat and milk and vegetables. So they're gonna, hey, you ain't got the chip, you ain't getting in the ration line. You ain't coming to the commissary. Make sure you got that chip, or you ain't allowed to buy nothing.
Right. Hey, it's a beautiful thing, man. You got everything going on, right? Everything going on. But what you think the Lord still got going out? The Word. The Lord's still waking people up, you know? And as you see, like the brother said, what did he say? I'm convinced that we're the Israelites. I read Deuteronomy 28. I'm just saying, if you can't understand Deuteronomy 28, unless the Lord put it on your spirit later to understand and reveal it to you, I don't know what to tell you, bro. If you tell somebody to read Deuteronomy 28 and they say that ain't us, well, the case is closed right there. If you can't see that's us, man, you through.
That's the milk.
That's the milk.
Can't see we under them curses. If you ain't never asked yourself why any of them things was happening to your